Now, the just concluded Afreximbank meetings that are held in the Bahamas. One high point there, of course, I'm sure you saw that on the program. The founder of Dangote refinery was a star there, celebrated for his determination to go through the odds to now have the refinery, and his views there, talking about the development and industrialization of Africa, which seems not to be supported by the Western world. That stood out. I'm sure you've seen the video, even on social media. Another thing that came out of that Afreximbank is the creation of the Africa Energy Bank. We hope to have a conversation on that later on this week with an official from Afreximbank. I think they're still trying to recover from the organization. But we have an individual who was there at the meetings in the Bahamas. He joins us now from our Abuja studio. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Star Advisory Limited. Mr. Kevin Ekalafo joins us. So, Mr. Ekalafo, welcome back from the Bahamas. I believe your trip was safe and beneficial.
Thank you, Ini, for inviting me. And yes, my trip was safe and beneficial.
All right, so let me start from, Mr. Aliko Dangote's comment. I wonder if you were at that session where he did say that it does seem like the Western world is not supporting Africa's industrialization, and so Africa should get up and take responsibility of its development and industrialization. I wonder if you were there and some of the reactions, because, I mean, you have a lot of people from the Western world who were at that meeting, the reaction and sentiment around that statement that he made.
Yes, I was at this session, and I must say it was applauded by a lot of the participants or delegates at the summit. Clearly because it's a recurring decimal. It's something that's happened across different African countries. And it's not just to the petroleum sector, to Dangote refinery specifically. It's also happening in the aviation sector, where you are very well aware, it's well documented, the travails that Air Peace and Barrister Oyema are going through since they got the slot to fly the Lagos-London route. It's repeating itself in many other sectors. The truth is, the Western world has liked the idea where we were dependent on them, and basically they have made a fleecing of Africa, of Nigeria specifically. They've made so much wealth from our dependence or importation of finished products from the Western world. And to their consternation, we are waking up, and it's happening on multiple fronts. And my prayer is, long may it continue. We would like to see that also happen in the power sector and many other sectors, infrastructure, education, healthcare. We need to wake up and not depend solely on the Western world to provide all our requirements. The truth is, I would like to reiterate what the president of Dangote Group said. Only Africans can develop Africa. And so we need to brace up and key into this vision of Africans developing their own continent.
Yeah, well, I mean, even at the IMF meetings and all of that, we hear that perhaps coming from Mr. Dangote to make a difference, because we have meetings such as this, we have great conversations and all of that. But does it seem to you like Africa is really waking up to that call to know that we have to take up the responsibility for industrialization and not wait for the Western world to help us develop?
I must say that there's somewhat of a renaissance in Africa, because, why would I say so? Look at the Francophone countries in Africa. A lot of them are breaking away from the stranglehold of France, who has been their colonial master, holding 50% of their CBN or their resources. A lot of them are also pushing the agenda of self-determination. Even against even the whole idea of democracy, they are even having military takeover, and the people are rejoicing. So I must tell you, at the summit, I had discussions with Africans from every part of the continent, from the north to the south, to the east to the west. And the truth is, Africans are tired of being enslaved even after they have received their independence. So the truth is, it is high time. Africans have called for this for a long time, and they are happy that they are getting better deals by determining their future themselves, not necessarily the West determining who rules them, how they are ruled, and on what terms they are going to operate in their economies. You know, Africa has a lot of mineral-rich nations, but they have been impoverished, from Niger to Chad to DRC. Almost all the mineral-rich countries in Africa are in extreme poverty. Nigeria is also an example, you know, with illegal mining going on in a lot of most parts of the north and most parts of Nigeria. And a lot of these minerals find their way to the west, to China and the developed nations, and the country, Nigeria, does not get any benefit for it. So it's about time. I can hear that the Ministry of Solid Minerals is developing some military or security network to protect the mine site and to regulate operations in those mine sites. I'm also happy that we are doing what we're doing in aviation, supporting local airlines to take over our skies, to get a better deal. You can imagine when people were paying 15, 16 million for a ticket to London, and now we are paying 1.2 million via Airpeace, and that has caused a crash of the prices. We couldn't even determine the kind of food we ate on such flights. Now, these foreign airlines, namely the British Airlines and others, now serve jollof rice, now serve Nigerian food. So, like I said, long may it continue. We need more competition, and the truth is we need to have a lot more nationalistic focus, a lot more patriotic agenda being pushed by the government of the day, because we should consider in every sector the Nigerian companies who operate in that sector first, you know, and give them the privilege, the benefit that they should get as Nigerian companies or Nigerian-owned companies, ahead of just giving everything to foreign-owned companies who treat our citizens very poorly, you know. I mean, it's well documented, from hotels to construction. Nigerians are treated badly. You know, someone who's a technical or technician from Germany or some other country is treated and given better benefits than a qualified engineer in Nigeria and a lot of these foreign construction companies. There are so many issues across the sector or the economy. So for me, it is the right thing to do for Nigerians to develop their own economy, for us to be the first people to invest before calling in foreign direct investment. If the local investors are not interested or are not given a fair shake of the coin, I mean, it's not going to augur well for the people who are beneficiaries, the citizenry who are going to be paying for such products or services.
Yeah, so another high point of that meeting was the Africa Energy Bank that was launched. Of course, I do recognize that you are not an official of Afreximbank, and we've been talking to them about coming to the program to discuss that. But for you, being there and hearing about this, what do you know about it? What are your expectations from it?
I'm aware that a number of countries bidded or are bidding to host the Africa Energy Bank, but I'm also aware that Nigeria is a front runner amongst the few nations who are bidding to host the bank. I believe that situating here in Nigeria has a lot of benefits for the Nigerian oil and gas sector and the energy sector as a whole. And it's going to be a major catalyst to spur investment, especially in the energy space. As you know, internationally, a lot of the banks are reducing their percentage of the portfolio given to oil and gas with the new wave to move to cleaner energies. But unfortunately, they have not considered the fact that Africa needs those fossil fuels to develop, to ramp up its development, to catch up with the other parts of the world. So if they just switch off, it's in a way is killing the chance of African nations who are still at the early stage of their growth to be able to catch up with the West. So for me, it's a fantastic idea to bring that to Nigeria and to help develop a lot of the, I mean, Nigeria has a lot of oil blocks that have not yet been developed, you know, both onshore and offshore, especially the deep offshore. There are a lot of opportunities for us to develop the oil and gas space. And you know that gas is a commodity we badly need in Nigeria for power, for the industrialization right now. So the more, the merrier. I know a lot of these banks internationally across Europe and the West do not want to fund energy projects anywhere. And even when they do want to fund, they would rather take it elsewhere. Africa is not giving the preference anymore. So getting this energy bank situated here in Nigeria is going to be augur well for the oil and gas space in Nigeria and the energy sector as a whole.
All right, thank you so much, Chief Executive Officer of Star Advisory Limited, Mr. Kevin Ekalufo. We look forward to, you know, maybe more conversations on the energy bank and how we will benefit from it. But thank you for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let's take a break now. When we come back, we'll head to the markets with Anita Edit. Join us again.